Undertale by Toby Fox. We get a new post for Underswap. Core Frisk explaining that they want to bring Papyrus to the Omega timeline. Error-free. Papyrus wants Core Frisk to take him to find his brother. But Core Frisk explains that they can't do that. That even with omnipresence, the location is hidden from their view, and that they can only bring people to the Omega timeline, nowhere else. Core Frisk explains that if Papyrus chooses to stay in this timeline, he will just go mad, and if Error returns to finish the job, he will gloat in Papyrus's face and remove the timeline from existence, saying that leaving with them is Papyrus's only good option. We suddenly get dialogue from two Errors, one purple and one blue. Do you think he's going to accept the deal? He'd be stupid not to. That looks like a yes. Aw, that's too bad. I was hoping I could keep him. Perhaps I wouldn't have let you. Let's let Core Frisk keep this one anyway. You wouldn't want some soul obsessed with revenge. Yes, I would. Clearly he needs a good friend. I think you have enough new friends for a while. Besides, me and Core got ourselves a deal. Remember Papyrus? We don't interfere with them, and they don't interfere with us. And we get a look at the speakers, and it is the glitched versions of Papyrus and Undyne. We come back to Blueberry, and he is bugging. More than 300 voices can be heard for Blueberry at once, saying that it's a lot to handle. Blueberry then saying he is okay, I think, just wishing to get out to see his Papyrus, that this place is getting to his head, hoping that these new voices he can hear are real. The voices help SANS get back into his lovely self, but he gets reminded of the soul he left on the ground, saying sorry for how he acted. Blueberry continues answering the voice's questions. A voice says that if he absorbed the soul, he might be able to escape. This is something that Delta SANS had utilized to travel to other universes after failing his own. Blueberry refuses, saying he doesn't wish to hurt the human. A voice asks Blueberry, "How did you feel when Error said there was millions upon millions of other alternate universes like yours?" Blueberry responds with, well, I certainly wasn't feeling good. The whole situation was way too overwhelming. Truth is, even if I get out, which I want to, I don't even know a thing about the multiverse, much less how to navigate it. But when I escape, I'll do my best to learn. A new voice asks, Blueberry, do you miss Error SANS? Do you hate him for possessing you? And Blueberry responds with, well, I don't hate him. He's no longer here to pressure me to say anything, but I never lied on this point. And to be honest, I do miss him. Before you get upset, let me explain why. The fact he took my life, my bro, my world away from me is not forgotten. When I realized he might break this soul, I used every weakness I had learned about Error against him. When he left, that's when I attempted to escape. But to be truthful, I was planning to come back for him once I found help. He can't be the only being so knowledgeable about the multiverse. There has to be someone out there that knows how to help him. At the end of the day, he's still a SANS, still some version of me. And after being in here with this awful silence and being so alone, it's no wonder he went mad. It's no wonder he hurts so many people. He needs help. He's hurting billions of lives, and he's hurting himself. I will do everything in my power to save what's left of him. And if I save him, I help protect the rest of the multiverse. We now see Papyrus walking through the door that Core Frisk made, being greeted by Disbelief Papyrus and Dancetail SANS. Disbelief Papyrus wants to show Underswap Papyrus around, and Dancetail SANS tells Underswap Papyrus that they have a couple of people from Underswap here, that they might help him feel better in the short term. Plus, they have a club. Underswap Papyrus sees an Underswap SANS and runs right to him, asking how he escaped that error guy, catching the attention of an Underfell SANS and a scientist SANS. We jump back to Blueberry answering the voices. The voices ask if the void will have the same effects to Blueberry as it did to Error. Blueberry says he certainly hopes not, and that he tried to escape, but didn't learn how Error does it. A new ask makes Blueberry feel near his eye socket, and we see errors begin to appear. This makes SANS get up and begin to call out to Error, saying he won, and that he was sorry. We get a shot of where Error is, and he is in Outer Tail, trying to knit, yelling about how stupid it is. Error is also now available for questions again, saying that since Blueberry isn't around, he had time to destroy 2 universes, saying it is like the good old days. A final ask before the hiatus asks about if Blueberry truly deserved being left alone in the void. Error saying that was the worst question ever, saying he was trying to manipulate him, learning his weaknesses and using them against him. He is just an awful glitch, an abomination. But Error tries to calm down, even though he now can't see. Whoop-dee-freaking-do. And this is where the large hiatus occurs. They were very mentally and physically exhausted, now putting all of their effort on Aftertale, which is now complete. During the hiatus, we get an official Blueberry Error design, named Blue Bearer. Looking at the lore for him, he wouldn't exactly be a dangerous error, because he didn't have any ill will towards anyone during his transition. Most, or the heart of what makes an error dangerous, is their final thoughts before turning into an error. Something to also note, once you are errored, there is no way to uncorrupt yourself, like being unable to use a corrupted file. When Error would have found Blue Bearer, he wouldn't have liked this outcome at all. Blue Bearer would have been furious at Error, nearly trying to kill him, but eventually wanting to help those in the Omega timeline, per Frisk's permission. Sort of like a helpful error. Blue Bearer is an error that would like to socialize, even getting into the Omega timeline when found to be non-dangerous. Blue Bearer even giving the blueberry that was in the Omega timeline his world, so he can have his happy ending there. Error Undyne would later become a very dangerous entity, going into a murderous rage after seeing Error in his glasses, thinking they were Alphuses. Error being a lot less dangerous than we think, but Error Undyne being the true danger when it comes to destruction and competence. Blue Bearer, still trying to be a good error, tries to get Error to assist in stopping Error Undyne. Error accepts, for the sole reason of her existing pissing him off. the Omega timeline would turn into a team to end Error Undyne's destruction, as Blue Bearer makes a home of the Omega timeline. Error probably making a deal to not destroy the Omega timeline because they assisted in ending Error Undyne. After this, many things are mostly up for fan canons, a story not yet properly told. Everything seems to hit a wall a few years ago. But I found this post. A viewer asking about if the Ask Error is done forever. And they respond with definitely. That every time they go to record or write it out, their mind floods with how bad or how hard things were back then, resulting in it becoming too difficult to do anything about it. They work so hard trying to keep up with the demands, the asks, the attention. It went too far, and they aren't going back. These videos are for your endless amount of fans and the 9-year-strong community. Take care of yourself, Crayon Queen and viewers. We are not done just yet. We have some fan-made work from Roseworks showing Blueberry in the process of turning into an error. Error opening a window to step through, hearing sobbing from Blueberry, saying that it hurts, that it is so loud, as he shakes and squirms. Error seems to be worried as he reaches down and lays a hand on Blue Bearer, saying, "I know." We get some more fan art of the future, and we see a glitched window open, and we get to see Error say, "Don't get too excited, I'm only here for my..." As he sees Blue Bearer, Blue Bearer jumps up to his feet and runs over to Error, but he completely glitches past him, ending up on the ground. Error seeming to not like what he is seeing, but Blue Bearer making a joke of the situation, and of course, making Error uncomfortable. We get more fan art from a further future. Blue Bearer appears from a glitched window, and Papyrus stating that he knew that Blueberry would show up if he waited long enough. But unfortunately, Blueberry, now being an error, has lost a large chunk of his memories, saying, I'm sorry, do I know you?" Papyrus trying to explain, but Blue Bearer asks, "Where is he? Where is my brother?" This is one of the ideas that was tossed around, Error being captured by the people of the Omega timeline. Blue Bearer now associating Error as his brother, and not Papyrus. Blueberry now completely changed, and unable to recognize his Papyrus at all. Error now continues life in the community through many fan stories, canons, music, animations, and much, much more. One of the most popular continuations / canons is Underverse, where at some point Ink SANS and Error SANS made a truce. No more creation, no more destruction. Error saying he could easily take everyone as his puppets and erase everything forever, but he would rather see the game that Ink is playing. This ties into what Lover of Piggies had said about Error. He acts childish at times, plus his poor eyesight and memory. He isn't as dangerous as he could be, and isn't as dangerous as Error Undyne. I did just realize this, but Error's new clothes are stitched together, which would imply that because of Underswap SANS, Error learned how to sew, and he sewed up his new clothes in Underverse's canon. We get to see Error watching Under Novella, Ink inserting himself, us getting to see Error's glitched out state, Error finally having enough of Ink and his game with that Gaster, making a glitched window and floating through it into the Doodle Sphere. full of hanging pages representing the alternate universes. Error pulling at his eye sockets and tying up all of the pages with his blue strings. Error enters X-Tail, and we get a show of fresh SANS. We also get to see just how much Error hates the guy. Fresh threatens Error with a hug, and it works. Error gets a peek at what is happening in X-Tail, and Error laughing for his victory. Our truce is over. Error appears in Outer Tail, looking for ink. Nightmare Sans gives away Classic and Outer Tail Sans' position, having Error jump at the opportunity to capture them with his strings. Error calling Fell Sans Anomaly 13. Error using his strings to use Classic, Swap, and Fell Sans' souls. Attacking Ink, drawing Ink, and putting away the vial Ink was protecting with his strings. Starting the Ink versus Error fight. The fight ends with a standoff, calling Ink a psycho, that he never should have negotiated with him before Error transports the entire area to the expansive Doodle Sphere, and with one pull of the string, he destroyed the entire multiverse in this reality, this verse, this underverse. But Error is still able to be taken down with some paint and forced back into his anti-void, and gets his trophy stolen from him. Error demonstrating that he can just open windows to a place and use his strings to just snatch people. And of course, him still being a crybaby, wanting attention from the multiverse he just destroyed, and him still being able to be snuck up on, but also being capable of very large attacks like this one. More of Error being childish. Even after just saying kill, he instead makes Cross Sans hit himself over and over. Error trapping Cross in a devastating attack. If not for Ink, he would not have survived. Ink then pointing one of his own blasters at Error, and Error does not move in time. Error appears once again, all battered from his own blaster attack, and Error then uses his strings on his blasters like leashes to throw them at Fresh Ink. Error pulling on the strings wrapped around Fresh Ink with straight anger on his face, but having a poor reaction time causes him to be hit with a powerful attack. In the end, it makes him just leave the fight, having been defeated. And that will be the end for Season 1 of Canon Error's story, plus Underverse Error and fan add-ons for 2024. Why do I say Season 1? Because there is a Season 2 that was made, but as of this video's script being finished, there hasn't been a post since March 23rd, 2024. Even Error Season 2 has a hiatus occurring. Let me know if you would like me to explain Season 2 up to the hiatus. Creators, artists, and writers, continue creating and being yourselves. Please, take care of yourselves. None of us are perfect. I know I am very far from it. This is me, signing out. Error Tale, Starting Point of Error with Lyrics, by Cuesta Loud.
Why are you killing? Why are you fighting? What made you so scared to confide in someone who cares? Someone who will share the burdens that you've been hiding. Choose the right option, it's not too late yet. You'll shock 'em all with your jokes, I bet. Let somebody in, stop stopping them when they're trying to find you. Why are you killing? Why are you fighting? What made you so scared to confide in someone who cares? Someone who will share the burdens that you've been hiding. You can be different, I know I've seen it. The you that you hate, that you thought you lost is somewhere inside, so let someone find you. why push away their feelings? Why am I killing? Why am I fighting? What made me so scared to confide in someone who cares, someone who will share the burdens that I've been hiding? You speak so freely as if it's easy. Guess that's on me for expecting less from someone like you who's lost all to lose yet still keeps your head up smiling.